Everyone, it's Mrs. Burdick, the reading coach. I want to show you today a way that you can make a cootie catcher, or some people call them a fortune teller, to help ask questions while you're reading a story or a narrative. Now, you can also make this for a nonfiction text, but today we're going to make it, and the questions are going to relate to a fiction selection. Now, first thing, I want to show you that I've already created one, but I'm going to show you how to fold it and then what kinds of questions can go inside there. First thing, I have a piece of paper, and it can be any piece of paper, but I just took mine out of my printer. And now I'm going to show you how to fold and cut so that you have an exact square. Let me move my computer. Now, I lay down my paper and I'm going to take one of the corners and fold it all the way over so that I have a nice line right here. Now, get an adult's permission, but you can use the scissors and cut along that straight edge. And as soon as I cut along that straight edge, I have a square. Now, I'm going to show you how to fold the cootie catcher, and then I'll show you the different questions that I put in mine. So, put it on the table or on a flat surface. Take one of the corners and fold it right up in to the very center and crease it. Now, turn it, fold it right up into that center area and crease it. And you see what I'm doing? I'm going to do that all the way around my paper so that all of those corners have now been folded up into that center. I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to turn it face down. Now, guess what? I'm going to do the same thing again. Start with a corner, go right up to the center and crease. Turn it, go right up to the center and crease it. I'm going to do this all the way around, each time taking that little corner tip right up into the center. Now, in order to make it pliable, that means easier to move, I'm going to fold it in half, and then I'm going to press it really good on all of those corners. And I'm going to fold it over here, do the same thing, just press it really good, fold it again, press it really, really good, and that's going to make it a little bit easier for me to maneuver it once I open it back up, just like this. And then I'm going to be able to put my thumb and forefinger right inside here. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Uh-oh, Mrs. Burdick's having trouble there. There we go. Oopsie, I needed to fold it a little bit better, didn't I? All right, here we go. Now, you'll play with yours just like this, and it'll make it a little bit more pliable as when you move along. Now, I'm going to open this back up, and I'm going to show you where you write your questions or where you write your words. So, opening it right back up. And lay it out. Now, this makes it so much easier to write because now I have all of my crease lines to show me where and what I should write. In the very corners, I'm going to put my colors, and you can pick whatever color you like. So right on the corner tabs, you're going to write your colors. Then on that next set of lines, I'm going to put characters, setting, plot or problem, solution, and then I left one with just question marks because I want a free choice question. Then on the very inside, on this triangle, and then I'm going to turn it upside down on this time, I'm going to write separate questions. And I want you to think in terms of what kinds of questions would you want to know as you're reading. So I wrote things like, what is the setting? How does the action affect the characters? What steps were taken to solve the problem that was in the story? But I want you to think about questions we've talked about before and put those right in the center. Now, I have my cootie catcher ready to begin, and I'm going to read a selection. Why don't you pause the video for a moment and go ahead and make your cootie catcher, and then join me as we read Mossy by Jan Brett. All right, Were you able to make your own cootie catcher? If not, you can catch up and do it another time and just join me on this story. This is a selection by Jan Brett and it's called Mossy. I don't know if through the video you can see how beautiful these illustrations are, but I hope you can because they are gorgeous. Let's find out about Mossy. On a misty morning, a young turtle stood at the edge of Lily Pad Pond. Her name was Mossy. Mossy liked this damp, cool place. She spent so much of her time here that her curlicues of moss began to grow on her carapace until her shell was covered with them. As the spring days got warmer, tiny ferns unfurled and the wildflowers began to blossom. Soon, Mossy's shell was home to an amazing garden. Mossy liked to look at her reflection in the lily pad pond and see what was growing in her garden. Every day brought a surprise, a new flower, or perhaps a delicious wild strawberry. Mossy's garden was growing wider and taller. One day, Mossy was standing by Lily Pad Pond when the water rippled and two ruby red eyes looked up at her. It was a handsome turtle she hadn't seen before. Scoot had never seen a lady turtle like Mossy. He thought her garden was pretty, but it was Mossy who made his heart beat fast. She was breathtaking. Scoot scrambled up the bank and walked toward Mossy. Entranced by those ruby eyes, Mossy made her way into the open glade toward Scoot. Just then, Dr. Carolina, on her morning walk with her niece, Tori, spotted Mossy. Gently, Dr. Carolina picked her up. She is perfect for the museum. Never had Dr. Carolina's museum had a wonder as extraordinary as a garden growing turtle. She and Tori made a home for Mossy in a viewing pavilion with plants, a reflecting pool, and everything they thought a turtle would need. But Mossy already had everything she needed back at Lily Pad Pond, and she longed to go home and to find her new friend. Every day Scoot waited for Mossy, but Mossy didn't come back. All summer, visitors came to see Mossy in her famous garden. They watched her eat raspberries, mealyworms, mushrooms, and lettuce. But Mossy didn't seem happy to Tori, and Dr. Carolina was too busy to even notice. Mossy was lonely for Scoot. She had stopped looking at her garden in the reflecting pool because it made her remember those ruby red eyes shining like jewels, peering at her from the lily pad pond. Thoughts of Scoot only made her sad. Snow fell outside, but inside the museum, Mossy's garden kept growing and people flocked to see her. Dr. Carolina was thrilled that Mossy had made her museum famous. Today, Tori and her class had come to see Mossy. The meteorites and geodes amazed the children. They loved the woodland diorama, the butterflies, and the shells. Finally, Dr. Carolina said it was time to see a very special exhibit. The children gathered around the viewing pavilion. At first, they didn't see Mossy. Then she started to walk her magnificent garden, swaying back and forth. The little turtle captivated the children. Mossy is a special turtle, Dr. Carolina told them. Her garden grows and changes all year long. She is never hungry or cold. She is safe living in the museum. Here with us, Mossy could live to be 100 years old. I'm wondering what Mossy thinks. Tori frowned. She loved the museum. She had helped her aunt collect wonderful things on their walks. But Mossy was the first living creature that Dr. Carolina had taken to live in the museum. Is that why she looks so sad? Tori wondered. Do you think Mossy is happy here? Tori asked her aunt. Does she have any turtle friends? The children asked. No, but here we have the opportunity to see her, Dr. Carolina paused. The children had given her an idea. On the first day of spring, a sign on the front of the museum read, "Closed. Do not disturb." Two women arrived at the back of the museum. Dr. Carolina and Tori were there to meet them. Everyone wondered what this meant. One day passed, 2 days passed, then 3. After a week, everyone was invited inside. Dr. Carolina introduced the two mystery women. Please meet Flora and Fauna, she said. The curtain was pulled aside, revealing a portrait of Mossy larger than life, with her garden painted in glowing detail. Flora had painted all the plants. Fauna had painted Mossy. Together, the artist had captured a moment in time that would never fade. Everyone cheered and clapped. At dusk, Dr. Carolina gently put Mossy in a collection basket. Come with me, she said to Tori, and off they went to take Mossy to Lily Pad Pond. Together they said goodbye to their garden-growing friend and put her in the glade next to the waterfall, exactly where Dr. Carolina had found her. Mossy was home. The next morning, the warm sun woke up, scoot from his bed beneath the leaves. He opened his ruby-red eyes and saw Mossy. Their year apart vanished into the past. At the museum, the portrait of Mossy continued to amaze visitors. What an extraordinary work of art and nature, they exclaimed. The world changed as the years went by, and Tori grew up. But Mossy's portrait is there in Dr. Carolina's museum for all to see, not knowing that far away on the misty, moisty edge of Lily Pad Pond, an old turtle still stands, and her name is Mossy. Boys and girls, moms and dads, grandmas, grandpas, aunts and uncles, I hope that you enjoyed this selection from Jan Brett called Mossy. Now, remember those cootie catchers? This is a great time to take that back out. Ask a friend, what color would you choose? Red, green, yellow, blue? Blue, let me spell that out. B-L-U-E. Now, I'm going to look in there. Oh, what was the setting? We had a couple of settings, didn't we? We had the lily pad pond and we also had the museum. Now, you are going to finish that out, make a cootie catcher or fortune teller, and then read your own selection or some of the other videos that I've posted on Paget's Coach's Corner. Now, have a great day. This is Mrs. Burdick out.